And I went back to all the stuff I loved when I was little. And one of the things that comes up for me was art.
Okay.
That I love art. I mean, since I was little, I was always doing things with my hands, working with my coordination between my head and my hands.
Right.
So that to me was an avenue that I could have exploited. And I've been doing it for a long time. I haven't benefited very much from it. I mean, I taught it for 13 years in the daycare centers. And I'm pretty sure I came in contact with thousands of kids during that period of time.
Right.
Very young kids and stuff. And I'm hopeful that I influenced a lot of them to learn how to think.
Right.
Because even the art itself is simple, but it requires a certain kind of academic discipline. In other words, the kids who come in contact with my work and who wants to aspire to do art,
Right.
they have to use their own thought process. You see, because that's what I say for people who see me. There are a lot of people who see me on the streets and they want to learn that because they believe they can't do anything with their hands. They are so convinced that the hands is obsolete or something. So when they see me, they are struck. But at the same time, I know that some of them they don't have the patience. They wouldn't really pursue that, because people just don't pursue things of that nature. It's too simplistic. We are too technologically advanced for people to do things with their hands.
Right.
You press a button and things come up.
Right.
So people are not going back to that. So that to me, that puts me at a certain kind of advantage because I'm out there by myself. So I'm what you call it? Somebody who is just out there. I don't know how some people react differently to me. To what I do,
right?
Because some people think I'm not doing a thing out there. What are you doing? You're wasting time out there.
Right.
But my work gives me a purpose. It gives me direction. It gives me a feeling that I have something. Regardless, I'm not competing with anybody else, but it gives me the feeling that I have something here, and this is a gift from the Creator, from the ancestors. You see, that's how I feel about that, about what I do.
Good. Now, what do you say about African traditionalism as a religion? Because Africans were influenced by Christianity
right.
and Islam. They recruit and they propagate and they convert our people, and a lot of Africans are losing
they're losing
their ground on traditionalism. What is your take on that?
I often think about it. I often think about traditional African religions, and one of the reasons why I say that because I had studied Yoruba.
Okay.
While I was in Queen's College. I went to Queen's College, and I didn't finish college, but I was there long enough to grasp certain types of concepts, especially African religion.
Okay.
And I was awestruck when I recognized that in Yoruba, you got all the elements that is in Christianity. I mean, everything. There's nothing in Yoruba, in the construct of the Yoruba religion,
right,
that is not in the Roman Catholic or all these Christian religions. All aspects, the cosmology and all that.
Okay.
So basically, the question is, how does people leave their religion to jump into somebody else's, unless it's forced onto you?
Right.
Because, to be honest with you, when I studied Yoruba, and I started to see that these people were dealing with the forces of nature.
Okay.
And how they broke it down. And everything was broken down into different deities for different types of situations. I thought that was a profound way of looking at the creation. But of course, we in the West we had talked. They tell us about this the one God thing, or the monotheism, which is the worship of one God.
Right.
And that becomes very abstract because you try to figure out this one God, and how do you really relate to that? And a lot of people get you know,
how does that God perform all his duties or her duties?
Right, you know,
right? Or by herself or himself.
Self, yeah, it's abstract. It's abstract thing. Now, what I'm saying is, I don't disbelieve that there is a divine creator doing, you know, responsible for all his laws and his immutable. But of course, in the African tradition, this God breaks himself down into different aspects. You know, he's just not just, you know, it's not just like it's God doing everything, you know, he's there, you know.
Right.
It's different breaking down, you know. So we have to look at it from that perspective. So to me, African religions are both monotheistic as well as polytheistic.
Yes.
You know, it's not this or that.
If you remember when I tried to start the show, when I said the prayer, I talked about the different deities.
You're right, yeah.
The land deities, the water deities, and the sky deities.
Yeah.
Because they're all entities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just don't rise all the way to the supreme being without following, you know,
yes, right.
You can't go to the White House and meet President Barack Obama.
Right.
There is just no way that you can leave here and walk to Washington, D.C. and go to the White House and meet Barack Obama.
No, you wouldn't.
And if you also want
you will confront a lot of obstacles.
Yeah, something done. It's broken up in different cabinets. And you probably have to pass through that department to get whatever you want. Imagine that's the president of
the United States. The physical earth.
Right. How do you expect the supreme being to be responsible that anybody who wants to pray can just go and pray straight to the supreme being?
Wow.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's the West though, and it's sad because that's what I still do. But when I pray, knowing that they have destroyed our religion and our culture, I maintain the presence in my heart because I know that sincerity is a mainstay of all these things. But it's a very sad thing when you know when you had to confront life without dealing with your ancestors,
right?
You know, and dealing with certain things that traditional Africans dealt with,
right?
And it made a lot of sense.
Okay.
You know, it made a lot of sense. You open the doors and all that stuff, you know. So I think it's something that is still, you know, lacking or is you know, we still need, there's a vacuum there. We need our religion. And when you know, there are a lot of Africans who are being converted, you know, and I've said to myself, well, you know, why are they converting into other religions? Because to me, if you're going to be converted by force, then there's something to that.
Right.
You know?
Well, if you are conquered, and because of the fact that you want to survive, but after you gain your independence, why do you have to stick to something that, you know, that was forced upon you?
Forced upon you, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but that is also has something to do with your psychology and your mental background. Some people just can't go back to African traditionalism.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean, to me, it's
because it's too difficult because of the fact that they talk about hellfire. People don't want to be burnt.
Burnt, right? But so, you know, the hellfire. To me, hellfire is right here because the fact that black people were brought into this particular dimension of activities in the West 300-400 years ago, that represented the hellfire that we could be cast into. Slavery was hell. It is still hell because we're still in that situation. But if you talk about hell, anybody, when they start talking about hell to me, I'm talking about this one right here, the one that we experience every day, the torture and all that stuff. And anybody who doubts that doesn't really understand the true value. I mean, when you are without land, when you don't have you're not in control of your own land, you know, you're in hell.
Yes.
You know, you have a landlord, or you have a whatever lord or whatever laws that is running things right now, and you got to go to them. You know, it's a very, very, very difficult thing.
Okay.
I want to. This is an example of some of the burnt wood.
Yeah, but Mr. Modeste, we're almost running out of time.
All right.
This is Black History Month. Talk to the people. Talk to the audience out there. What message can you give them, especially with the work that you do?
Yeah, I personally speaking, my thing is, and I focus a lot on employment, because I believe that as long as we have two hands, a head, and we can function, we can function basically by, if we have all the faculties that we are endowed with by our Creator, therefore we have the ability to do whatever we want for ourselves and create an economy. One of the things I do recycle. And that is how I begin my business. So that what I'm saying is, black people should start thinking of what they want to do as a service in general, so that they can get out there and, approach that, you know what I'm saying? Because basically, to start a business is almost like, I think of nature as, like a seed. You put a seed in the earth, all right? And you just don't leave the seed there, right? You put a seed and you just leave it. No, that's not what you do. You cultivate that seed by taking care of it every day,
right? And
developing it. If it's a corn you planted there, and you cultivate that tree, it grows up and it goes into millions of corns. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Stalks and stuff. And I believe that's the same approach we got to do with our business. But at this point in time, where we're living in an economy right now that is, nobody knows what is. Jobs are going to China, going out of the country, and all that stuff. Black people within America have to create their own jobs, whether it's planting food. I mean, whatever they have to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then we got to support each other.
Thank you.
That's my.
Brother Modeste, thank you for coming out on a terrible day like this to grace my show.
Yeah, but I thank you very much because you invited me, and I really, really appreciate it.
Good.
Yeah.
African traditionalism is different. Different is not deficient. Different is not devilish. Different is not ungodly. It is just different. This is how Africans have been, connecting to their Creator. They pray the way, their prayer is their way of life. And we have been there. We have been on this earth for centuries beyond everybody else. Thanks for listening, and I expect to see you next time on Divine Speech. Take care. May Amon-Re, whom my tradition calls Nawene, bless you.